At just 22 years old, Brayden McBee carries the quiet kind of charisma that doesn't clamor for attention, but captures it nonetheless. Tall, broad-shouldered, and reflective, he's often seen more in the background than in the spotlight. But don't mistake that silence for absence. Brayden is, by his brother's own teasing admissions, the most eligible bachelor of the McBee clan. Recently single after a long-term relationship, he finds himself navigating the tender in-between of heartbreak and new beginnings. As his older brother Steven joked in a podcast clip last fall, Brayden is, quote, 6'2", stacked, and working out lately. But beneath the teasing is a real affection and a brotherly desire to see Brayden find love, purpose, and a place of his own. Like so many young men his age, Brayden is figuring it out, quietly, privately, and with a bit more thought than he lets on. His journey, unlike that of his older brothers, hasn't followed a straight path. Raised primarily in the city with his mother, Christy, Brayden's childhood offered him a different rhythm. Fewer early mornings on the farm, more time in the suburbs, away from the dust and the daily work of the McBee cattle operation. His perspective, his pace, even his dreams, are shaped by this quieter, more urban upbringing. But now, as his father Steve Sr. observes with a mix of hope and pride, Brayden is gravitating back. In the first season of the McBee Dynasty, Brayden was noticeably absent, offering only glimpses of his life and personality. He addressed this in a rare interview alongside his father and brother Cole, saying simply, "It's kind of been a deal where I haven't fit in quite as much with my brothers, but it's been a great time. It's been an introduction." There's a softness to his words, a maturity. And for anyone who's ever felt like the odd one out in their own family, Brayden's quiet honesty resonates. We've all been there. That stage in life where the plan we thought we had falls apart. A relationship ends, a dream shifts, and suddenly the road ahead looks nothing like what we imagined. Brayden, it seems, is in just such a moment. But moments like these uncomfortable, unscripted chapters, are often where real growth begins. His father, Steve Sr., put it simply, he thought he had his whole life planned out, and someone else changed that. And that's oak. More than oak, it's human, it's real. And while Brayden may have taken the longer road back to the family farm, his brothers are clearly rooting for him. They poke fun, they play matchmaker, they call him Big Miami Guy, and rib him for his Instagram captions. But beneath it all, there's a closeness, and a kind of love that only brothers can offer. Even Cole's girlfriend, Cassie, has affectionately dubbed him Uncle Bray. It's those little moments, those nicknames, the shared jokes, that show us the kind of man Brayden is. Someone who's loved, even when he's a little unsure of himself. So who's Brayden McBee? He's the manager at McBee Farm and Cattle Co., a young man who's worked in construction, who knows his way around a cattle chute, and who, by all accounts, can do just about anything he puts his mind to. He's a dreamer, a thinker, a man in his early 20s who's learning, sometimes the hard way, how to find his voice in a family full of strong ones. He may not have it all figured out just yet, but he's showing up, every day. And maybe that's the lesson for all of us watching, especially those of us a few decades ahead of where Brayden stands now. That even the strongest, most self-assured young men need space to grow. That sometimes the one who speaks the least has the most to say, and that every family, no matter how close-knit, is made richer by its differences. Brayden may be the youngest McBee, but youth has its wisdom too. He reminds us that becoming who we are is rarely linear, that love lost is not the end, and that a return home, though not always easy, can be the beginning of something even better. Brayden walking across a Missouri field at golden hour, hands in pockets, wind in his hair. The cameras may just be turning toward Brayden McBee now. But something tells us his story is only just beginning. If you enjoyed this look at Brayden's journey, subscribe for more stories from the McBee Dynasty, and let us know in the comments. What advice would you give a 22-year-old finding his way home? Age, job, dating life, and career details. So far, the McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys has only given viewers brief glimpses of Brayden McBee, who is the youngest of Christy McBee and Stephen McBee Sr.'s 4 sons. But you can expect his dating life to take center stage on the show, potentially ushering in some family drama, of course. As his official Bravo cast bio for Season 2 teased, Brayden becomes the most eligible bachelor in the family after ending his long-term relationship. Will his quest for love get his brothers into trouble? In fact, shortly after filming Season 2 of the show last fall, Stephen McBee Jr. even tried to play matchmaker for Brayden on his Meet the McBees podcast. In a clip from October 2024, which was captioned, "Ladies, Brayden McBee's DMs are open," Stephen described his little brother as being 22 years old, single, 6'2", and stacked, emphasizing that he'd been working out lately. As the eldest McBee boy continued, he's just looking for a potential wife to move up to Gallatin, Missouri on the farm with him, before asking middle brother Jesse McBee if he'd made a good advertising pitch on Brayden's behalf. Stephen Jr. concluded, "So, hit him up on Instagram for any of you ladies that are potentially looking for a farmer." What does Brayden McBee do for a living? The McBee Dynasty Season 1 credited Brayden as a manager at the McBee Farm and Cattle Co. Father Steve Sr. also shared that Brayden had work experience in both farming and construction and could do it all. Does Brayden McBee plan to stay at the family farm? Jesse, for his part, admitted that he was unsure of Brayden's long-term career goals. "I think the only person who knows what Brayden's aspirations are is Brayden, and he doesn't make it very clear to, really, any of us," Jesse explained. "He's always, obviously, grown up in the city with Mom and has kind of lived that life and didn't come up here as much." He added that Brayden had been spending a lot more time on the family's Missouri farm lately, which has been great for all of us. Explaining that Brayden was at an unanticipated pivot point in his life at the time, Steve Sr. chimed in, "He thought he had his whole life planned out, and someone else changed that, and that's oak. He's working every day, so I'm good." The patriarch continued, "You can already see that he's gravitating up here more, and I think that will continue." Inside Brayden McBee's relationship with his brothers. Brayden's Instagram includes photos with brothers Stephen and Jesse, along with snaps from a recent Miami vacation with friends. In the comment section of the latter post from July 2025, Stephen referred to his little bro as Big Miami Guy and offered a friendly critique of his song selection. While Cole McBee weighed in, "Just here showing some love. Miami must have been a movie with that crew." Even Cole's girlfriend, Casey Atkinson, chimed in, "Uncle Bray." Earlier, Jesse joked under an introspective, as Stephen dubbed it, rooftop pic from February 2025. "Did you find what you were looking for?" Playing along, Brayden replied, "It's out there somewhere." Why Brayden McBee was missing from Season 1 of the McBee Dynasty. In a rare TV interview with Houston Life in March 2024, Brayden, appearing alongside his dad and Cole, addressed his lack of screen time on the series' inaugural season. "It's kind of been a deal where I